Welcome, everybody. So the title is definitely true. This is regarding Hanwei. Hanwei, I just got sort of the report. Now, I know that this was kind of in the works for a little bit, for a little while. I know that the Hanwei factory has been having problems for quite some time, but I think they kind of just really made it official. There was a notice that came in, which I have it on the side here, from Cas Iberia. What's up, Greg? Thanks for coming in, buddy. And the it was sent to me actually from Patrick. He wanted to kind of share it, the bulletin with me. But this report came out, or this notice came out on Cas Iberia's site, posted on Friday, and now it's kind of like on Cultivatina's side, and they're emailing it. It's massive emails. So I'm sure if you haven't seen it and you have any subscriptions to any sword related content, you're going to get this in this kind of important notice that came in, that was put out from Cas Iberia, officially stating that as of December 31st, the Hanwei factory in Dalan, China, I believe it is, started from Paul Chen, decades ago, and Paul Chen himself probably retired, I think, around 10 years ago. But Frenchie Jin was working with Paul Chen back then, and he's with Dragon King now. I'll get to him. But it officially closed down. Now, hope we had more people in the room, but I'm sure you guys will catch it on recaps. Greg, can you hear me okay? So I want to make sure the audio is coming okay. Right now, this is the original, guys. This is probably the first production katana that I was able to get my hands on through a factory sample from Cas Iberia years ago. And this is the Practical XL. Never part with this thing now because this is an OG. I mean, this is the original. I mean, there's no other sword like this. If people know what the Practical XL is all about and what makes this sword great, I mean, you can see the width of the blade is so much different than any other katana you've seen. It's actually the same width all the way up from the Multihaba all the way up to the Kasaki. It's a very beefy freaking sword. This is probably one of the best tatami cutters you can get out there without going crazy with like evolution blades and stuff. But for the price, this is probably the best tatami cutter you're ever going to find. Durable. I mean, I put this thing through hell. I absolutely love this sword. This ends up not because Hanwei's closing. This has always been, and if you guys know my videos and you see my videos, this has always been one of my favorite swords in my collection is this Hanwei Practical XL, and this is an OG. This is like a 2019 version. This is probably only the version 2 that they ever came out with, and this is probably what is going to be retiring with Hanwei is this version of this Practical XL with the plain crochet. It's just the Ito being tight but not too tight. It's just all the trademarks of this Hanwei, but just being such a huge blade and such a great cutter. Thank you, Greg. So yeah, I'm not parting with this if you're able to get your hands on it, but we'll get to that. But let me go through the article itself. Let me tell you what they're saying in the article with Hanwei. So they have been having problems since the fire that they had many years ago. They were never able to really rebound from that massive factory fire they had in Hanwei. They did finally rebound to a certain extent. Then COVID-19 came, and that hit the factory really hard. They had additional complications with like government and the financial instability. Well, actually, they had complications with government regulations, the war in Ukraine, impacting steel supplies. Global supply chain distributors have further compounded on pretty much an already bad situation that they had. It seems like many of these factors kind of align to like create a perfect storm, as they call it, leaving the factory with no reasonable path forward. And in December, the factory sent Cas Iberia their final shipment, and officially closed their doors. So as of now, Cas Iberia has the final shipment of swords that came in from Hanwei, and these are the last swords that are going to be sold from the original Hanwei factory that was started from Paul Chen. I don't know where these swords are going. I know there's a couple of them on Cas Iberia still for sale. You may not want to buy them from Cas Iberia because they're overpriced. check with Cultivatina. If you're interested, they may have some in stock, some of the higher end models. I cannot find this Practical Excel. I don't know if you're going to see this ever again as far as this one. I'm sure you'll find aftermarket. Don't ask me for this because it's not going anywhere. But yeah, the final shipment had came in. This, and also another one of my favorites is this Raptor series. This is a Unikubi Zakuri Raptor series, which was a great series from Hanwei. They're Raptors. I think they had 3 of them in the series or 4. Love this sword. Again, another beefy, probably the beefiest Unikubi Zakuri you've ever seen. I mean, these are just some really heavy-duty swords, but they're not like the swords from Cold Steel, because everybody talks about Cold Steel swords being like just robust and, you know, heavy as cutters. These are robust swords, but they're also very manageable and good quality balance in terms of the swords. They're really easy to wield for the most part, even though their size. They're just really great swords, man. So if you have your Hanweis, hold on to them, man. Don't let them go anywhere unless you're looking to make, you know, a buck. But, you know, it's still fairly new. It's still fresh. It's still new. So just to continue with the article. So moving forward. All right. So we know there's supply chain issues. We know that they were hit with the factory fire. What's up, B Shady? Thanks for coming in. We know where they were hit with the factory fire. We know that Hanwei basically with COVID-19, supply issues, Ukraine, war, steel supplies, global supply chain distributors issues, all that crap. Everything contributed basically them, you know, having to close down. There had to be some bad management somewhere, but we won't get into that. We'll talk about that in time, I think. Moving forward, we have now. Thankfully, we have, and Cas Iberia is holding on into him as a gem and a treasure, is going to be Frenchie Jin. Now, Frenchie is running. He was working with Paul Chen, which was the originator of Hanwei. And listen, guys, Hanwei swords, Hanwei katana is pretty much a staple or an icon in the katana market. If it wasn't for Hanwei, I don't know if katana would be as popular as they are today. I know there's Ronin, there's a lot other variables. I know that, but Hanwei is a very, very big part of why the katana market, the tradition of making katana stayed alive, and it was the reproductions that pulled out, that came out from Hanwei, came out from the designs of Paul Chen, working in, were pretty much the amazing swords that came out. Obviously, they had their issues. You know, they had the fit and finish issues and stuff. But for the most part, good and bad, Hanwei was it. Hanwei was basically where everyone learned their lesson as far as how to produce swords in modern times. And to see an icon like that kind of go down is it's disheartening. It's a big loss. It really is. Paul Chen has been retired for a while, but the remnants of Hanwei has always stayed with the company even after his retirement. But the good thing about Paul Chen is the fact that he was, like I said, working with Frenchie for many years. Probably, let me see. Paul Chen from the United 3 decades ago. Yeah, so Frenchie Jin was pretty much Paul's right-hand man. So he was his protege. He worked with him, he learned from him, and he eventually left and took many of Hanwei's artisans with him and started Dragon King. And he's producing all the Dragon King models, designing a lot of his designs. A lot of Frenchie's designs were, you know, some of the most popular Hanwei swords came from also Frenchie in terms of working with Paul. So that's a good thing. So now Frenchie is working with Dragon King. He has a good portion of Cas's Hanwei team that did follow him. So he has a group of really skilled artisans, including the forgers, the smiths, the designers, the artists, the machinists, the wood craftsmen, and even the polishers, and also a majority, pretty much their R&D team, are working with Frenchie Jin with Dragon King. So that is the good part of it. And moving forward, that is something that I think we can look forward to with Frenchie now, and is supposedly he's going to be continuing making some of the most popular Hanwei models under Frenchie Jin, under Dragon King. I don't know if it's going to be called, if they're going to rename them, if they're going to still call them Hanweis. I think out of respect of the brand, they may still continue the Hanwei brand through Frenchie Jin kind of producing them. Now, from what I see and from what I heard from Patrick, because Patrick sent this over to me, I think that Frenchie's going to, and Frenchie has the ability and the talent to basically improve the model. So if he takes some of the most popular Hanwei models, Practical XL, and improves the model or makes it a new Dragon King model catered after the Practical XL, that's going to be huge. So it is a sad time to see the Hanwei factory close. It's been inevitable for a while. They've been having issues for quite a while. Hoping that the laborers and the artisans that were working, the forgers that were working with Hanwei, land on their feet and get to a place where they're kind of just still producing swords, because there's a lot of talent there. Hopefully they join, Frenchie, with his forge and start producing for him there, whoever's left in Hanwei. That would be an awesome thing. But I'm imagining they should probably do that, and make it a combined effort. Now, from what I'm reading here, it looks as if basically, they will start. I don't know how many. I don't know which swords they're going to repraise. I don't know how many of them they're going to be able to kind of continue the line. I doubt it's going to be the whole line is going to continue. I don't know how they're going to make decisions of which lines to continue, which lines not to. I'm hoping the Practical XL lines, I'm hoping the Raptor line continues, because those are really popular, and I think they just has a lot of ability in these swords, a lot of really just things that really stand out on these swords that are different from any other sword in the market, even today. No one has ever been able to reproduce the Practical XL in terms of its ability and the wide blade and keeping it balanced, not too heavy. It's really a marvel. Paul Chen really did a number on how he produced this. And if Paul Chen, if Frenchie Jin can kind of produce something that's close to this Practical XL, that's going to be a game changer. So, looking forward to seeing basically what Frenchie's doing. I wanted to get this live out there. Hopefully the replays will get more views out of this as well. But I wanted to get this out there. Kratos, what's up, buddy? I'm going to be coming off soon, though. I wanted to get this live out there. If you're catching up this late, try to come back, try to replay it. But it's this is basically just a live that I wanted to do, kind of just getting the bulletin out there, getting the report out there. The Hanwei factory is finally closing, or finally closed as of December 31st, right before the New Year, our New Year. And it looks as if Frenchie Jin, who was working with Paul Chen and was his right-hand man, is probably going to be continuing the effort in bringing some of the Hanwei models to fruition or to reproduction, probably throughout the summer. They're going to have to work on it. It looks as if they're going to be probably September, October. You're going to see probably some of the first Hanwei models. It's going to take that long to get some of the first reproduced Hanwei models on the Frenchie Jin, which should be pretty damn exciting to see what he can do with it. But don't have any much more information than that, other than the fact of why it closed and what led to its closure. I'm sure it's going to be analyzed and put under the microscope as far as maybe bad management or somebody that didn't do their job the right way. I don't know. Or maybe it was inevitable. Maybe they just had too many hits and they weren't able to kind of really keep it going. Who knows? But they were hit really hard, and that fire really did hurt them. And before that fire, Hanwei was on fire. I mean, no pun intended. But they were doing some really good work, and they were producing some of their best models, just doing a great job. And a lot of people say that after post-fire, Hanwei was never the same anymore. I don't know if that is exactly the case, maybe on certain models. I know this was probably a post-fire sword, this Hanwei Practical XL, and I love the sword to death as far as this Raptor series and Rukubi, and I don't see any issues as far as them not being as great as they've always been. So I know there's a lot of opinions on that. Larry, what's up, buddy? Thanks for coming in. It's the end of an era, definitely an end of an era. I'm sure you guys all have, if you guys have been into katana for quite a while, I'm sure you have come across Hanwei swords. You may have some Hanwei swords in your collection that mean a lot to you, and you may have had them for decades. Who knows? I mean, I don't know how long some people have been collecting. I know Matthew Jensen has been living, with Hanwei from the very beginning, and he probably started his channel with a Hanwei sword, or maybe a Hanwei sword that he wasn't happy with, and that's what started his channel. I started my first production swords with this Hanwei Practical SL. This was my first production model I was able to, appreciatively have my hands on, and then I got the Raptor from SBG that they sent this over to me. So I appreciate being able to have these swords after this closure. But yeah, it is definitely the end of an era, which is sad. But I'm looking forward to maybe seeing better products, better Hanwei products under Frenchie Jin, which is extremely talented. And he's an asset and a gem with Cas Iberia. He's producing Dragon King, which, if you guys know Dragon King, does a great job with his Dragon King swords. The Modern Katana series, which is doing incredibly well, among many others. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with that. Hello from Indonesia. Please replay this video if you can, because I'm going to be closing it off pretty soon. But it's about the end of an era, the closure of the Hanwei factory, the official closure of the Hanwei factory. Bolton came in on Friday from Cas Iberia, put it out. But the good thing is, I wanted to put this out. I am also planning a live interview on Blade Talk with Scab and Joe. Scab is going to join me on Blade Talk. And we're going to have Patrick on directly from Cas Iberia. We wanted to wait a little while to get more solid, concrete information as far as the future of Hanwei swords. Well, we know the future of Hanwei factory is done, but as far as the future of the Hanwei models, if they're going to be continued, which ones would be continued, which swords will be recreated into different type of models, which will be improved. I'm hoping all of them will be improved. I'm hoping the Practical SL comes in and still gets continued. They employ sorcerers. Yes, they do. Dragon King does employ sorcerers, Kratos. But yeah, I'm hoping that we're going to wait a couple of weeks, probably first week or second week of February. I have set up a live with Patrick because we wanted to wait until he got more concrete information that he was able to get to you guys, and maybe hopefully some confirmed models of Hanwei that are going to be continued from Frenchie Jin. And I'm hoping it's some of the swords that I have in my hand here. I mean, these are just amazing. I mean, look at the wide. If you guys know anything about katana, look at the wide multi-haba. This is over 2 inches, and it's the same width all the way up to the Kasaki. I mean, this is just one of those monster blades that cannot be reproduced and cannot be done by any other company. Still has not been done by any other company. It's really an amazing. You can see just how wide the saya is. I mean, this is just an amazing tatami cutter, but it's just a rough and tough cutter. I mean, I put this thing through hell. I took this to Florida jungles and cut into 3-inch vines, and it just keeps on going. It takes a licking and keeps on taking, man. The Raptor, I've sent that Raptor around the world, around the country, and people have been cutting with it. Bamboo, hard materials has been great. And yeah, so I'm hoping that, excuse me, when I get Patrick back onto Blade Talk with a live, by the time he comes in, that he'll have more information as far as what the future of some of the Hanwei models are going to be. And hopefully let us know which ones may continue to be reproduced from Frenchie Jin, from Dragon King or through Dragon King. I'm hoping they'll still be called Hanwei, but it'll be cool. It'll be interesting to see. I've heard through the grapevine, and I can't say too much. I've heard through the grapevine that some of the most popular swords from Hanwei, and I heard this, months and months back, because we all saw this coming. We all saw Hanwei having an issue for years now. But some of the most popular swords from Hanwei are going to be recreated through Dragon King. That's all I'm going to say. Hopefully, I'll be able to say a little bit more with Patrick. Maybe he'll have more information that he can share. But yeah, so look out for another live coming in with Scab and Joe. Blade Talk with Scab and Joe. Well, we'll have Patrick on directly with Cas Iberia in light of this announcement. Hopefully, we'll have more concrete information. He's working on getting some more concrete information in the background. And we'll be able to get you more info, but I just wanted to get this report out to you, talk about it a little bit, and let you know what is going on. I will probably try to put a link after this live is over to the actual report from Cas Iberia. You guys can read it yourself. They put as much information in there as possible. I know Cultivatina just put it out this morning on their site as far as this announcement. They also talk about 2025 and beyond. Cas Iberia is celebrating their 40th anniversary, which is pretty cool. So they're going to be continuing their products, the Legacy Arms, Kingston Arms, which a lot of them were produced by Hanwei. So a couple of those Kingston Arms models are not going to be made from them anymore. And they'll also have to be kind of revisited. But there's a lot of news in here. I don't want to go into all of it. You guys can read up on it yourself. But I gave you the most important gist on it as far as what the announcement really entails is the fact that Cas Iberia closing and hopefully will be continued from Frenchy Gin, and which is obviously very important because he was Paul Chen's right-hand man, and Paul Chen is an icon and a legend in the sword creating market, especially in katana. Everyone knows Paul Chen. He also had a lot of spin-offs. I think his brother is also producing swords and under a different name. I forget. I should know I should know to tell you, but I don't remember. But there's been a lot of spin-offs of Paul Chen from his family. So the Paul Chen name hopefully will continue. The Hanwei brand will hopefully continue through Frenchy Gin. Larry, I'm not sure yet. I would say probably Gerbs. What's up, buddy? I'm going to be closing this off pretty soon. I'm hoping that Blade Talk with Scab and Joe regarding a meeting or an interview with Patrick Shipley from Cas Iberia regarding the closure of Hanwei factory. Hoping that's going to happen the first week of February or the second week of February at the latest. I'm shooting for the first week of February, so not too long from now. If he needs more time to get more information, that'll be the second week of February. But I'm going to get that to you as soon as humanly possible to get you hopefully some more information than what this article says. But this article does pretty much give you the gist of it as far as what happened with the Hanwei factory. But what we want to know is what's going to happen to Hanwei swords, what's going to happen to this Practical Excel, what's going to happen to all our favorite Hanwei swords that we have been loving and collecting and seeing for decades now. And if those swords are going to be retired, I'm sure some of them are going to be retired forever. But I think some of the most popular ones hopefully will be continued. And I'm hoping that Patrick will be able to give you that information once we get him onto Blade Talk. So hopefully that answers your question, Larry. But first week, February, second week of February at the latest. Do not want to get it further than that. But I am shooting to try and get first week of February. If you guys are not subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel if you're passing by so you'll get the alert. Put the bell icon on. You'll get the alert as far as when I'm going live. I'm going to obviously schedule it so you'll get a placeholder to know when it's coming in and when I do actually go live. So look forward to it too, Larry. Gerbs, thanks for joining me. Greg, as always, thanks always for your support. Thank you from Indonesia. I believe it's Ain. Thank you for joining me. Be Shady. If you're still in the room, I appreciate you guys. So yes, sad day. Goodbye to a legend. Paul Chen retired a while ago, but goodbye to Hanwei, the original factory that was making these Hanwei swords that basically shaped the industry to what it is today. In my opinion, it means a lot to a lot of people as far as people who have dealt with Hanwei for decades. And it is a sad day to see them finally close, but hopefully looking forward to the future to seeing where Hanwei goes from here and if it's going to be a brand that's going to be continued with Cas Iberia to Frenchy, and hopefully to see if Frenchy Gin is going to be improving the line somehow. So Wishing you guys a fantastic weekend. You may see a video from me as far as a Work Tough Gear knife, if I'm able to get that out to you. If you have any questions, please put them into the comment section. I will try to leave a link after this is done and go back and put in the description as far as the this actual report that came from Cas Iberia, so you guys can read it yourself. But just wanted to get that out there responsibly. I love swords. I love katana. I wanted to get you this very important report that came in from Cas about the closure of an icon, closure of Hanwei in Dalan, China. Originally started from Paul Chen decades ago. And let's see where we go from here. So thank you for joining me, guys. I hope you guys are doing well. I'll try to see if I can see that, Gerbs, if I can get in there. I got some work to do today, but I'll try to see if I could put that on in the background at some point. And much love to all you guys. Thanks for joining me as always. And if you guys are catching this on the rebound with the replay, please leave your comments, leave your share if you want to share any personal experiences you have with Hanwei and maybe some of the first swords you have. I'm sure I have a lot of people have some of their own stories as far as how they got into katana with their first Hanwei sword. So it's a sad day. It's a sad day to see the kind of them closing doors. It really is. So everybody have a great weekend. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for catching me in the replay. This is Joe Steele from JS Playcraft, and I'll catch you on the next Sword of Knife review. Have a great one, guys, and goodbye to an icon. Goodbye to Hanwei. Looking forward to the future. Hopefully, we can continue the Hanwei brand somehow, some way, and I'll get you that information as soon as I can with a live straight from the horse's mouth from Patrick Shipley from Cas Iberia. Look out for the live. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already, so you'll get the alert, and you'll see me continue this conversation further. So thank you, Paul Chen. Thank you, Hanwei. Thanks for what you did for the industry, and really sad to see this iconic factory close. So that's all I can say. Have a good one, guys. Smash the like button, subscribe, share. Much appreciated. Much love to everyone in the chat room for joining me and sitting through my ramble. Have a good one, guys. Ciao.